to it. I think some time ago I recorded some stuff. These videos will be kind of, I don't really want to say all over the place, but more so lacking structure, because I would have recorded them when I got the chance to, and more so like when something really thought-provoking would have popped into mind, or when I would have had like a particular experience. And the point of kind of like posting these kind of like sporadic, structureless videos was kind of to share the inside view of some of what I experienced as the year come to a close. Also some of what I experienced as I transitioned from one phase of my life into the next. So as I would have shared before, I think my birthday was in November, the 21st of November, so that to me is a new chapter. And you know, that always brings about some kind of like, oh my god, what have I done, what I need to do, what you know, what have I really accomplished, where is my life currently, is it where I hoped it would have been, and what are some of the things that I could change, what are some of the things that I could add to my routine, to my lifestyle, and all of those things to really get me to where I want to be. And also the life that I some sort of kind of had planned for myself, or where I thought my life would have been at this stage in my life. The vision that I have for myself going forward, is it the same? So you know, I always go through that process. And if I could remember clearly, I think as much as I have always been the person to journal, to write out stuff and set goals, I think really I want to call it somewhat of a panic, really started drastically when I turned 18. You know, from that point, that is when I really become so much more conscious of where my life is heading, what am I doing with myself, what have I accomplished. And from there, every year has been some of the same things, but it is not so much more of a panic, but it's more so where I really sit with myself and try to figure out where I said I was gonna go. Am I there, and am I taking the path to get me there, and do I still want some of the same things? But moving on from that, one of the things that kind of came to mind was hide. You know, hide yourself. And some time ago I would have posted a quote that says, I have to hide myself from me so that you do not get the opportunity to hurt me. And you know, somebody would have asked me like, what does that mean exactly? Why do you have to hide yourself from yourself so that, you know, somebody doesn't really get the opportunity to hurt you? And that really speaks to sometimes who you are as a person is so embedded in you that even if someone yeah, it would have to be someone, right? Or let's just say in a particular situation that isn't necessarily favorable for you, or isn't the best thing for you, because it is so embedded in you to be who you are, you tend to give that situation and that person millions of chances, and you know, you keep re-entering into the situation because this is naturally who you are, you know, wanting to give chances, or wanting to be hopeful, or wanting a different outcome. And after a while you start to realize where you have to kind of hide that part of yourself from you, so that instinctively you don't go back to that way, so that you could protect yourself from the other person taking advantage of you, right? And outside of that aspect of it, another reason why the word hide really kind of stuck out to me as I was making my way to where I am now, is because I think sometimes you really have to hide things, not only to protect it, but also you tend to have to hide things, and even yourself too. Oh god, do we think my nail broken, right? Because sometimes when you're out in the world, or you're in a particular situation, because you're so crowded by the person, or so crowded by the situation, or so crowded by the perception of the world of what things should be and how it should go, you don't really get the opportunity to put things into perspective. And sometimes because you don't have the opportunity to put things into perspective, the truth is far from you. And it's because, you know, you're always so flustered, or you're being, your thoughts aren't getting an opportunity to present itself. Your ability to process things isn't there because the situation is crowding you, or the world is crowding you with its perception of how things should really be. So sometimes you really have to kind of hide so that you could put things into perspective, so the truth could reveal itself. And, you know, I tend to hide a lot coming towards the end of the year because I'm putting things into perspective. I'm trying to process things because, like I said, with life things get so busy. You know, sometimes not only with work but with your personal life. If it is you're in a relationship or you're trying to find a relationship, your mind becomes so crowded with different thoughts that you really need to find somewhere to hide. And sometimes my place to hide, I will go near a body of water and just kind of like sit down and try to catch up with myself and just try to go back through things and kind of figure out, okay, the way that I would have interpreted X, was this really the true way for it to be interpreted? Or the way that I saw something happening, did I like, you know, did I have like an oversight? Did I not look into it as I should have looked into it? And it really helps to bring about some levels of not only understanding but also acceptance of what things are and what they were at the point in time. And it really helps me to put a lot of things to bed. And outside of putting a lot of things to bed or even closing some doors, it really helps me to step into my next knowing or having a better understanding of how I want to move forward in all aspects. And why that is important is because in life, be it voluntary or involuntary, once you're there, you are there, and you have to make a decision to figure out how you want to go forward. And figure out how you want to go forward, not so that you could just exist in a situation, but so that you can be in that situation in a happy state. I believe in being happy. I believe in being at peace. And sometimes those two things are some of the hardest things that to find or you could be in, because there's so many outside factors. But I think once you really take time to sit with yourself, you can find the opportunity to be at peace with the situation that you choose to stay in, or be at peace with the situation that you're in for the moment, because you probably think there's nowhere out or there's nowhere else to turn, so it's like, I might as well stay. So if that is your decision, you need to find a way to make peace with it and find reasons to be happy. So that's just my little thing. Hide. Find the time to hide, sit with yourself, process things, and figure out how you want to go forward. And not just go forward to exist in a situation, but go forward so that you can live and enjoy and not put your life on pause until everything else falls into place, or until things align the way you want it to align, so that you can be happy. Learn to find a way to be happy in the meantime, and learn to find a way to keep working until everything that you want comes together, because the reality is pieces of the puzzle will always be missing. And I guess that is like that, so that it keeps you working. So yeah, I'll chop this up and share it maybe in like 2 parts, or maybe even 3.